Paylocity's futurist in residence, Elisha Abate, gave an inspiring presentation on the future of HCM. We received a lot of great feedback, but one comment stood out. So we brought Elisha back to sit down with Paylocity's CHRO Jill Morrison to tackle the comment and other common HR pain points head on.
What did you think of the HR leaders' comment?
Listen, I can really relate to it. I think it's tough as HR leaders sometimes to take, the big ideas and translate those down to how we're operating every day. So I always appreciate the feedback, and I'm excited to talk more about it.
I echo that. Even though my realm is future in my day-to-day, part of the game is learning how to translate future forward into tools and strategies that we can use to create results and impact right now. So I'm excited about the conversation.
Ready to tackle these together?
Sure am.
Absolutely.
Okay, Leisha. My team has their hands full with core HCM responsibilities, which leaves little time to explore innovative tools and tech. What advice would you give to an HR team trying to strike the balance between the core and the cool tech?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is the question. It's a core challenge that so many of us face because the size, scale, and scope of the technological disruption that's here and coming is so great that the first question is almost much more, since it's here, what do we want to create? And it's this distinction that I talk about a lot between being captive to our circumstances, saying, why is this happening or why do we need to handle? Versus, given that we're here, what do we want to create? Because the change is here and so enormous. That said, there's a game that we can play, right? And one of the concepts that I talk about is simultaneous strategy. And so what is that? That's the ability to do now-focused, results-producing actions and incorporate future-forward innovative thinking simultaneously. And this can be done either individually or as teams, having folks who focus on now and innovation to balance that out.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. I think about it all the time. It has to be simultaneous. It's always both. It can't be or. And I think for me, when I think about what it has meant at Paylocity is as an HR leader, I have to feel confident in that core to begin with. And it's what opens up the doors to do everything else, right? So if you just think about that we're here in service to employees, we have to provide them with, accurate pay, benefits. It can sound really simple, but it is the most important thing to those individuals to start with, right? So we have to have that confidence in that core piece first. That's when all the doors open, and that's when we can simultaneously be doing so much more in service of those employees, right? So the technology that's out there is unstoppable for us when it comes to the ability to communicate better, engage better, retain, develop all these pieces that we want to be spending all of our time on. We get to those things when we start with the stability and we start with confidence in that core.
Yeah, I love what you said there, both and.
Yeah.
And as I study the future of work and the impact of tech and work in our working world, one of the big paradigm shifts that I look at all the time is what does it mean that we're moving away from a world of or and into a world of and. Yeah. And the logic of or, which is separation, and we don't do that here, and this doesn't happen, shifts over into connection and how might we create things and what might be possible when you include all aspects.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for us, we talk a lot about you can't do things in a distinct order anymore, right? You have to be agile. You have to be changing with the business, right? Businesses are changing. HR teams are here in support of our businesses. They're not waiting for one thing to be done before they start the next. So we have to be able to adjust, change, and do those things in multiple cycles in different parts of the business as well. So we have to have that flexibility, and we get to that through confidence in that starting point.
Yeah. One of my favorite questions in this emergent world that we're living in leans into that sort of the need for agile action, which is, because in the past when we did linear strategy and thinking, we would say, what can we logically do with what we've already done and already know? What have we done in the past? What might we be able to repeat? But the emergent dynamics of the world that we're living in now has us turning to the marketplace and saying, right now in this very moment, what's emerging from the market, on my teams, inside of our organization. And so stopping and paying attention to that helps us tweak strategy almost instantaneously as we're moving along and allows for that both and.
Yeah. It's the speed is such a big part of it, right?
Yeah.
You have to have that constant cycle back to feedback or what's making the difference and how do you take that information, get that insight and make a quick change when you need to or gather the input in order to make the best impact.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thanks, Alicia. It was so much fun to hear your thoughts on the future of HR.
Thank you so much. It was great to be in conversation with you again.
Awesome. We'll talk more soon.
Yeah.